up next, it's Nicole. Woo!
Well, hey, I was wondering, is anybody here to see Nicole Watson? Any fans of Nicole Watson in the house? Make some more noise. Fans of Nicole Watson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the woman you've all been waiting for, give it up for the hilarious Nicole Watson. Hi guys, like Lindsay said, my name is Nicole and I'm an addict. A friend hooked me onto Facebook like a month ago, and I don't know if you guys know what Facebook is. It's like MySpace for people over 30, or if you don't do computer stuff, it's like Denny's for people over 60. Kind of like an extension of your house, you know, like a place where you feel real warm and cozy. Like jail for any of my uncles. Like that. So I go onto Facebook and I write my little profile and I put my little picture up. It's really cute. And then I start like reading my profile and it goes like this. Married woman with 2 kids. Well, I could just stop there, but married woman with 2 kids. You know, she works for her parents and she does stand-up comedy. I couldn't read anymore because of the tears in my eyes. It was really sad. It didn't help that right at that point the little computer voice came on and said, "You have no friends." I'm like, yeah, of course, bitch. Did you read the profile? Who would want to be friends? So Facebook is like really bizarre though, because you seek out people and you ask them to be your friends. But right after you get like your little core group of people that you would actually talk to, you feel like compelled to go out and like find other people. So like after I added like all my teachers from junior high, then I was like, who else could I add? And then I was like, oh, the guy that backed up into me the other day at the gas station, you know, he gave me his insurance information, so I like look him up and I'm like, hey, do you want to be my friend? And it like never fails that he replies yes. All people reply yes. So he's like, yeah, I'd like to be your friend. And I'm like, oh, what a creep. You want to be friends with someone you don't even know, loser? I don't want to be friends with you. But all of a sudden, you're like linked up now with this friend. And by the way, linked up is not like hooked up, okay? There's no cyber sex going on my Facebook site, okay? I'm married. I can't even get laid in real life, believe me. I'm not having sex on the computer. When I want to break though from Facebook, I go over to YouTube because I got put on YouTube and I was like so happy. My comedy's on there and I'm like woohoo! Until I realized that like everyone and their great grandmother has a video on YouTube. So I'm like searching around, but they have like the weirdest stuff on there. It's like gingerbread man loses his virginity to a sugar cookie. But I like didn't even want to click on it because that's just weird. And for those of you guys who don't know, I am super square. Okay, I live my life like an Amish person, albeit a lazy Amish person. I can't do physical labor outside, okay, because bees are attracted to me. And I can't sew a button on my shirt, let alone make a whole outfit. But Amish nonetheless. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, don't have sex. Amish, you know. The only people who live their life straighter than me besides nuns would be like women that save their virginity till they get married, which is great. Unless you save it too long. Because everyone knows what happens if you still have your virginity and you're like in your 30s. Virginity depreciation. Because the longer you have it, the less it's worth. I know that there are like hardcore people out there, like religious types, who would be like, that's not true. God loves that you wait. But let me just tell you that in your 30s, God is the only man who respects that. And if there are any skeptics, I have a little analogy for you, okay? So down at your local grocery store, one day a butcher slices up this like huge pan of bone-in pork chops and they look primo. And they all sell, and at the end of the night there's one left. So he's like, no big deal. So the next day he slices up another big pan of these beautiful bone-in pork chops. He puts the old one right on top. No one wants it. They want the ones in front of it, the ones in back of it, the ones underneath it. So finally he's like, gosh, well I gotta get rid of this. So he puts in some attractive packaging and he slaps a little special sticker on it and he reduces the price and he sticks it over in the little clearance area. So that's when you guys come in. You head right over to the little clearance area because, hello, we're in a recession. And you see this perfect pork chop and you're like, yes! Because you really like pork and there's nothing called mad pig disease. So you grab your little pork chop and you run your little happy ass up to the register. But right before you get there, you're like, hey, why did no one else want this? So you do like a little inspection. You're like, well, I don't know. I mean, it has good color, you know. It looked like it worked out. It looks like it came from a good loin. But in the back of your head, you're like, there must be something I'm missing. You know, like maybe it's bad to the bone, pun intended. And so finally you're like, you know what? I don't need this. I'm on blood pressure medicine. So you just throw that little pork chop back and you go get yourself some new stuff. This is exactly what happens with virginity. Okay? You have your virginity, and right about the age of 30, you're going to start feeling kind of desperate to get rid of it. So you're going to find that you start like dressing it up, putting a little special sticker on it, reducing the price. And what you're going to find is not only are people not all that interested, but at one point, you won't even be able to give it away. Yep. That's why I didn't save mine until I got married. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. My mom once asked me where I come up with like the really, really weird stuff I say. And I find that really hard to believe because my mom says the most randomly weird stuff I've ever heard in my life. Like the time she turned to me and said, Nicole, do you know what the Dalai Lama told me the other day? And I was like, well, Mom, first of all, there's no such thing as a Dalai Lama, okay? He doesn't pass out cold cuts at Subway. And second of all, the Dalai Lama didn't tell you anything yesterday. She's like, yes, he did, yes, he did. He told me that daughters should call their mothers every day and wear clean underwear when they leave the house. Because you can't tell my mom anything. But that's not even including the time that I was like seriously like scarred for life. I was about 12. And she came into my room. She had this little breakdown that was very similar to like the wire hanger Mommy Dearest incident. She walked by my room and she's like, what's that? And I was like, what? And she's like, bed ruffles, bed ruffles! And I was like, what? I don't know a ruffle from a sham. I'm too young, you know? So she makes me get down like eye level and she's like, Nicole, why are your bed ruffles always tucked up inside your mattress? Pull them out, pull them out! And you know, when you're young, like in times of stress, your survival instincts, they get really jumbled. So I'm just like, gosh, is this where I call 911? Or where I lay on the floor and pretend like I'm dead? I wasn't sure. But now that I'm a mom, I realize that like all parents like fuck up their kids a little bit to a lot. You know, they're just like, no, there's nothing you can do, okay? For example, I sleep naked. Always have, always will. I have a son who's almost 1, so when he cries at night, I go get him out of his crib and I put him in bed with me and my husband. And my husband's like, you have to stop that, okay? Our son's going to grow up to think that every time he gets in bed with a woman, she's supposed to be naked. And I'm like, well, you think that, so that's the problem. Plus, it's really hard for me to take any advice from him because this is the same man who swore not too long ago. I came home from work and he's like, hey, we're out of diaper wipes. I'm like, okay, well, did you use the ones in the diaper bag? And he's like, oh no, I didn't see those. I used the other ones. And I'm like, what other ones? And he's like, you know those. Clorox wipes, okay? He wiped my baby with Clorox wipes, right? Now, I know that, you know, all men are retarded and they can't really be, you know, expected to know this, but right on the back in really large letters it says, not for use on a baby, okay? I mean, first of all, the word baby and Clorox doesn't even go together. But hopefully the words Nicole and funny do. Thank you. Thank you.